Hey everybody, welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Choosing Beggar Reddit video. We are just over 4,000 subscribers and on our way to 5,000, so if you can help in any way, I'd really appreciate it. In our first story, a Choosing Beggar bride and groom think that it's perfectly fine to upgrade their gift. Let's jump right in. A friend was supposed to be in an out-of-the-country wedding, but given the pandemic, they are no longer going. Since they would have to spend a lot on travel and accommodations, the friend decided to send a generous gift of several nights' stay at a local 5-star hotel. She planned it thoughtfully so as to not add much cost to the bride and groom by making sure breakfast was included, and also planned to buy them dinner one night. And to make it extra special, she added a couple's massage. The initial response from the bride and groom was to go to a different hotel instead. My friend wasn't all that bothered by this, as the bride and groom are locals and she figured that they knew best. Surprisingly, their recommendation was actually slightly cheaper, perhaps because the bride and groom didn't realize or factor in the cost of dinner and massage at the first place and were just comparing room costs. My friend, being super generous, didn't even take these savings. She instead let the bride and groom know this option was cheaper, and as a result, she'd buy them additional nights at this new place. I think this gave the bride and groom the wrong idea, or made them realize how much the initial gift was worth, because they changed their mind and said they prefer the original 5-star option after all. However, they sent links to some add-ons they wanted, a bottle of wine, chocolates upon arrival, etc. They also supplied links to different rooms they'd prefer, including the honeymoon suite, which runs at $4,000 per night. Obviously, my friend was having none of these extras, as she wasn't offering to spend more. She reminded them that she'd already selected the room package she was willing to pay for, and if they wanted extras, perhaps they could add them themselves. They still haven't come to an agreement. My friend realizes she probably should have just sent cash. In story number 2, we have a choosing beggar who wants luxury items but doesn't want to pay for them. So I work as a salesperson in an electronics store. We've had this lady in recently that doesn't seem to understand that stores exist to trade the customer's money in exchange for goods and services. She's been in several times now, and each time is weirder than the last. The first encounter: Choosing Beggar comes into the store and starts yelling at me to help her and that she's in a hurry. Never mind the fact that I'm in the middle of helping someone else. I tell her I'll be done in a minute, all the while she's hanging over us and trying to jump in and take over. A couple of times she even shouted, "I'm thirsty, give me water." So when it's finally her turn, she starts yelling at me more. "I need an Apple Watch. Give me an Apple Watch." "I'm sorry, but we don't have the model you want in right now, but I can order one for you. All right, what's your phone number?" Of course, she isn't registered, so I have to fill in her information manually. "Punch in the information quickly. I'm in a hurry. I have an appointment at the hospital. I'm thirsty. Give me water now." "I'm sorry, we're in the middle of an electronics store. I don't have any water to hand out here, but you can buy a bottle by the cashier." "Come on, go fast," flicking her hand in my face. All she's doing at this point is distracting and distressing me so that I have to double check the information and spend way longer than needed. I skip some of the things we are supposed to recommend, like payment plans, service plans, and accessories, since she says she's in a hurry, and send her along her way. "All right, everything is ready. You can go over to the cashier to finalize the order." A few minutes later, the cashier comes down to my department while I am helping some new customers, clearly confused, and says, she says she doesn't have money now and wants to pay later." So I tell him, "Oh, she told me she was in a hurry. I can set up a payment solution for her, but it's going to take a little while. She can't have it both fast and all sorted. It's one or the other." So she comes back with a half-empty soda bottle that she hasn't paid for. This time, she hardly says a word, just waits for me to fill everything in and apply for credit. To my surprise, it comes through and everything is in order. I even added the soda to the final sum in order to cover it, and she leaves. The second encounter. This time, she's bustling into the store to pick the watch up, but she's dragging someone in with her. Turns out, it's a taxi driver. "I don't have any money. You guys have to sort it out. Pay the taxi," she says. Meanwhile, going over to the cashier and grabbing another soda and gulping down half of it before anyone can stop her. Again, we try to explain to her that it doesn't work like that. I have to set up specific orders for specific items that are a part of our stock, and there's a minimum spending limit. You cannot get cash to pay other people. You cannot just take things from the store and just have it added to some sort of tab either. Taking those drinks is outright theft. She refuses to listen and keeps repeating that she doesn't have time nor money and has to sort it out the next time she's in. Seeing how ridiculous the situation is, we give up, shove the watch into her arms, and tell the taxi driver to call the cops as she's not going to pay for the ride. She left with the taxi driver, so we don't know how this went down. One of my colleagues revealed to me she's been in another time in the meantime as well, her face caked up in some dried up facial treatment goo. So my colleagues call her the mask lady while I call her the soda lady, asking for the watch. She ended up having them call an ambulance because she kept going on about being too tired to go home and telling them to call someone to help her. Turns out she just wanted a free ride home. The third encounter. Apparently, nothing of great consequence happened to her as she learned absolutely nothing. So this time she came back with the watch and demanded that we set it up and connect it to her phone and get all the apps working the way she wants it to work. The guys in our technical support hadn't encountered her yet, so they just started working without any suspicions, and she goes and grabs another soda. When the job is done and she has to pay, she finally blurts out, "I have no money. I have to fix it some other time." Luckily, our operations manager was at the desk as well and was having none of it, and promptly took the watch as insurance until she can pay for the service and all the sodas she's been stealing. I'm surprised they got her to leave without the watch. So now we're just waiting to see what her next escapade will bring. I'm kind of expecting her to return with the invoice for the watch and ask us to refund her, but let her keep the watch. That's the next Choosing Beggar move, right? In story number 3, a Choosing Beggar digital agency tried to scam some free work, but their plan is foiled. I submitted a bid on People Per Hour on Monday for some website tasks that were quite in-depth. Both the client and I are in the UK, and as an old woman, I've got well over a decade of experience in my field. I laid out a 4-stage plan and a summary. He viewed it at 2 a.m. one morning. No response between Tuesday and Thursday morning via PPH. I did some Google foo. Turned out he was one half of a digital agency that needed to submit a proposal to his client on Friday this week. This morning, today, I went onto my Google Doc in the cloud, revoked his editing access down to just a viewer. That, of course, can't stop him from screenshotting and stealing my suggested and well-constructed schedule, then passing it off as his own. So I kept the tab open and copy and pasted my entire CV on the document, and kept checking. What happened next was priceless. I was messing with my iPad and had the tab open when I see another person has access to the document. No one else in the world has that link, so it's him or his partner. This is where I get petty. I start adding my latest information on the CV. Last month I had my first part-time college class. I think I'm close to the eldest there. I decided to update my CV as the potential client watched. Seconds later, another tab pinged and it was People Per Hour and this client. He asked, "Good afternoon. Thank you for your case studies and response. Please, could you reply with your suggested SEO schedule for the client so we can present to them?" In the summary of the bid was 4 points. 2 of them said to be discussed in a paid consultation, as the other 2 were yes or no answers. My client portfolio is only made up of nice clients. I'm a businesswoman who takes no funny business, so I canceled my original bid so he can't force me to work with them, and replied back with the reason of, "Here's the link to book a consultation," and included the URL. He didn't reply. This is John from /bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to see more of them, then please smash that subscribe button. We'd love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.